Hello Superset maniacs and welcome back to my channel. I have a controversial one for you guys today. Was Martin Fitzwater, who finished 4th place at the 2024 Mr. Olympia, better than the runner-up Hadi Choopan? Surely a controversial take, but I also did a Martin vs Derek comparison a couple of days ago, and let's just say that Martin did not lose that one. Go watch it on my channel if you haven't seen it yet. So Martin vs Hadi now. Hadi's fans claim Hadi was better than the winner of the Mr. Olympia, Samson Dauda, but they don't even know what's coming to them because their favorite might be overshadowed from below the placings. Martin Fitzwater was truly the dark horse of this Olympia, but just like any other debutant, he couldn't get too high of a placing. Normal Olympia stuff, nothing new under the sun, but I digress. So let's go to the poses and see if there's something to this matchup. Front double biceps. Let's begin with the lower body. These are not quads, these are tree trunks right there, dry as the Nevada desert. Even though their quads have different shapes, both pairs have deeply cut, separated chunks of muscle, have great sweeps and great details. Choosing between them really comes down to personal preference. Upper body, they both hold impressive vacuums, and even though Martin has the tighter midsection, Hadi's ribcage is larger and he also has the widest clavicles, so Hadi's silhouette looks better overall. When it comes to the guns, they're both underwhelming. Hadi has the advantage through the biceps, but his triceps sweeps are bad, resulting in those pointy elbows, whereas Martin's sweeps are nice and round. Overall, this first pose goes to Hadi Choopan, but nothing to worry about for Martin. He looked great too, and this pose won't affect the final score a whole lot. In the front lat spread, we have a similar situation where Hadi's wider structure comes into play. Once again, it's visible that Martin has the smaller waist, but the illusion of the V-taper is on Hadi's side again because of his wide clavicle bone. If you are already familiar with Martin Fitzwater, you should know that this is arguably his only weaker pose, so all the following poses should be much stronger for him. So even though he lost these first two poses, he's not out of the matchup yet. Side chest pose. Now we can start to see that happening. I know Hadi was once known for having a strong side chest, but his chest, even though it's getting more detailed every day, is getting smaller too, smaller and flatter. I remember back in 2019 his chest was full and round, but I digress. The chest is not his issue here. I hate to bring this up, but what the hell is that in his shoulders? And I'm not talking about the usual suspect left shoulder, but this front one, it looks like he's got a piece of a foreign object under there. Very unpleasant. If we're looking at Martin, that's how a shoulder should be looking anyway. Martin may not have the best muscle separation in this pose, but his fullness and dryness almost remind me of Branch Warren. Of course, Martin doesn't have that crazy vascularity, but maybe it's better like this. I also think I like Martin's chest better here. It has that pop Hadi lacks. Lower body, Martin can use some more details, or he probably needs to flex those muscles better, but all in all, the side chest goes into his account. Back double biceps is next. This is a pose where everybody expects Martin to win, everybody who is not a fanboy, I guess. And yes, I do think Martin wins overall because first of all, he destroys Hadi downstairs. Hadi is always dry from the front, but from the back, it's another story. Just compare their hamstrings. Martin also has better calves, and I also like his quad sweeps more here. Upper body, Martin has the more complete and round arms, which is still important in this pose. However, he also wins the focal point, the back itself. He wins the traps, he wins the hardness and the muscle density, but he needs more width. Hadi has much better lats than him, and you can see that easily here. Martin has the potential to be a powerhouse from the back, but he needs to work on those lats, especially since his structure is already narrow. But anyway, he wins this pose here against Hadi, and he makes it 2-2 on poses so far. Back lat spread is next, and you know the story. Hadi's back double is arguably his weakest pose, while his back lat is one of his strongest. Since we already established Martin needs more lats, In a lat spread pose, this becomes pretty obvious. Martin's back still looks thick and detailed, but it really lacks the width that Hadi presents here. Also, Hadi himself has some pretty impressive thickness through his back overall. Downstairs Martin wins, it's pretty obvious, but overall I think I would give this pose to Hadi. The Persian Wolf fills out this pose much better, and I wouldn't have him lose it because of the lower body where he is decent too. He loses, but it's not like he's a Brandon Curry or something. No offense, Mr. Brandon, you are a legend. So Hadi Choopan wins the back lat spread against Martin Fitzwater. The side triceps is going to be controversial because there is an army of fans that think Hadi Choopan is a Kevin Lebron in this pose. Now it's true that Hadi's details through his chest and abs are unmatched and his side leg is on par too, but he doesn't really have the triceps and the overall arms and shoulders to really nail this pose 100%. Especially when he's up against someone with a meaty thick triceps like Martin, who on top of that looks great overall too. What I don't like about Martin here is the side leg, and unfortunately this pic is taken from the Saturday night individual routine, and you know how it is on Saturday. The guys focus more on the artistic side of the pose, so he may not have been fully locked here in the pose. But other than that, he has the silhouette, the thickness and the small waist, and again, he dominates the triceps aspect, which is still important in this pose. So my point goes to Martin in this pose. Abs and thighs, and these were probably the first and second best abs and thighs shots on the Olympia stage this year, since Andrew Jacked wasn't at his best conditioning wise. Now, nobody is beating Hadi in this pose, but if there's anyone who could rival his ab definition and his great thighs, that man is Martin Fitzwater. Hadi has the more aesthetically pleasing looking abs, and he also wins the obliques, but overall Martin has a pretty good midsection himself, and this pose is not a blowout like Hadi usually does with the opposition. Last pose is the most muscular, where Hadi and Martin both look very well executing two different variations, so it couldn't get trickier than this. Hadi's unique chest and core hardness really make him a power to be reckoned with, but truth be told, as hard as his chest is, it could really be a little fuller. And if we want to mention the shoulders again, and maybe even worse, his triceps thickness in this pose kind of becomes a problem when compared to Martin, whose crab variation is so damn impressive. He almost looks like a Phil Heath with not so powerful guns but a more powerful chest than the Gift. Also, his midsection and legs are world class here, which makes this pose way more complete overall than Hadi's. I know I'm going to upset a lot of you in the comment section, but this pose goes to Martin. So in the end, on poses it's 4-4, Hadi won the two front poses, Martin won from the side, and they split the back poses just like the two last poses, so a very even matchup. Who do I think was more convincing? I don't know, man, based on the mandatories, considering that Martin was really strong too in the front double biceps and the back lat spread, and the abs and thighs, three poses he actually lost and could very well win, and also considering that he gave no chance to Hadi in poses like the side chest and back double biceps. Overall, it kind of looks that Martin has a really strong argument to defeat Hadi Choopan as well, just like he did with Derek for the couple of days ago. If you guys want to see Martin versus Samson Dauda as well, make sure to like this video. Also, comment down below your thoughts on Hadi versus Martin. Subscribe so you won't miss my future videos. See you next time.